Good morning. My name is Marcos Guedes. I am professor of political science in Brazil, and I'm very pleased for the invitation to participate on this panel about cyberspace as a war domain. Before, I would like to thank the organizers, especially Bruno and Diego, and say hello to my fellow colleagues that are on this panel. Well, let's move to the problem. What is the relation between cyberspace and war? Is there a cyber war? How is it happening? If it's happening in Brazil? And what are the key problems related to that today? What's the relation between cyberspace, cyber war, and war? War is the use of force by powerful nations to achieve domination, to achieve what they want in the international system. In my view, there is no such thing as cyber war. Cyber, cyberspace, cyber tools are instruments in the hands of those powerful nations, as the atomic energy was before. To achieve domination, the nations need technological tools. The atomic age, for instance, has brought a lot of solutions, but has brought the atomic bomb, which was the most important tool for the nations disputing power during the Cold War. Contrary to the atomic energy, the cyber domain is much more large. It goes inside the culture, the everyday life of people. Today we depend on computing, on the internet, on data storage. So the cyber domain is everywhere. And is there a better tool to dominate the world? Is there a better tool to carry on your interest and impose a new framework of domination in the 21st century? So I see cyber power today as a narrative of technological superiority, aiming at controlling minds, bodies of individuals, and imposing will without costs. And it projects itself in four dimensions. First of all, political espionage and industrial espionage. Second, cultural domination by imposing globally one lifestyle. Third, the use of drones and artificial intelligence in combat. And a utopic element, which is a war without casualties. It means, can one today win a war without soldiers, only using machines, only using artificial intelligence? What about Brazil? Is Brazil engaged in cyber war? I think different from major global powers, Brazil, as many emerging countries, they want to overcome the gap, the economic and the technological gap in face of the great powers. So Brazil has invested in the last 60 years a lot in industry and technology, and Brazil is also a huge country. So technology and the cyber domain has brought a lot of instruments to help Brazil to deal with these huge distances and with its huge problems. For instance, Brazilian bank system is one of the most modern in terms of using technology in the planet. And communications and the use of internet and communications has been very, very useful for Brazil. So Brazil has been a nation that, as most emerging nations, supporting diplomacy, supporting international law, international regimes, and international agreements in order to solve problems like regulating cybercrime, cyber espionage, cyber aggression. And Brazil started to be concerned about cyber defense when its system became object of invasion, of espionage. So the Brazilian defense minister and the Brazilian army created the first structure of cyber defense, and it's very clear the name. The idea was to defend Brazil against the growing number of international attacks in its virtual structures, in its over its cyber structures. So gradually, Brazil started to realize that cyber is not a military issue. It's mainly a issue of global security. And in this perspective, many other bodies dealing with security were developed in Brazil, and today, I think the Brazilian perception is even more broader. Brazil supports the idea that the basis of the discussion and the search for solutions for cyber issues has to do with human rights, with individual rights, and with democracy. To sum up, there are four key ideas of cyber for Brazil. First one, understand cybersecurity and defense as one issue that goes from virus protection to smartphones to spying, governmental spying, for instance. Second, cybercrime and cybersecurity are sides of the same problem. Third, cyber education and defense of individuals' rights is very important. And finally, we have to move towards international regulation of the cyber realm as necessary for democracy and for it grow and benefit more and more society. Let's conclude this brief talk by presenting four key challenges in the cyber domain. First of all, can the narrative of technological superiority impose the idea of militarization of cyberspace, the idea that one nation might win a war without costs, might bring domination forever? Second, is it possible to build confidence measures in a period of global power dispute? If we look back to the atomic energy, we can see that even today, the militarization of the atomic energy is still a very, very important issue for which we have not found a solution. Third one, is it possible to regulate cyberspace and to create institutions in order that it would continue to benefit everyone in education, in health, and so on, instead of bringing this dark side related to domination, to power? And finally, we know we are living, at least that's what I think, a period of global power transition, where disputes tend to be more strong. Disputes also tend to concentrate on what I call hard cyber, which is espionage, which is the use of cyber to take advantage in very, very key areas that are related to power. So, is it possible in this context for us to find a way out, a solution, or are we moving for a kind of new totalitarian system or even extinction? Well, these are the problems. Let's talk, let's discuss. Thank you very much.